think by this point I've made it clear, it is the religion of academia. It will be your mission field, it will be your opponent in college. For parents, this will be what your teen will battle against if they go to college. You say, okay, well maybe you're not going to college, so why does it matter? I think this is really interesting. The president that we've elected, there's been a lot of concern. Is there, Islam, his connections to Hamas, and I do think that's concerning. But that's questionable. We don't know. But what we do know, because he says it, he talks about it, is he is ingrained. He's raised in academia. His mother was a staff at a college somewhere in the Northeast. I can't remember where, and he grew up in the academic culture. He is a product of the university system. And the semester after he was elected, I was in graduate school, and I was in a class with a whole bunch of teachers and other graduate students, most of whom taught at the time. And they were just, I think it was right after his inauguration, and they were all just celebrating. They're like, we have all these ideas that we believe that we want to see implemented in our culture, but our culture is just not academic enough. But we have a chance now with this president that our culture can change. That's what's being said inside the academic world. They know it. So we now have people in power who believe this worldview. And if you check all of these beliefs that I'm going to present about postmodernism, you'll hear them in our president's speeches. And I promise it is going to infiltrate down into our culture. And finally, it already affects our culture, and you have been immersed in it. So what I want you to do is on that piece of paper that I gave you. I don't have pens, I'm so sorry, so you'll have to share with each other. If you could write the last, or if you don't have a pen, then just think it in your mind, the last 5 movies that you've seen, or TV shows. Yes? Okay. I'm going to present a couple of themes, and I want you to know, check on your piece of paper every time one of those themes shows up in one of the movies or TV shows that you've watched. Follow your heart. I feel like almost every movie has this theme. Follow your heart. You watch romantic comedies, they always have this theme. You have to listen to what your heart tells you, right? Next one. The enemy is not bad at all. He's just misunderstood. He's not really a bad guy. We just don't understand him. How many movies? Even crime shows, they have this right and wrong, but half the time, there's this deep underlying reason why he did this thing. He, sexually abuses children because blah, 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 and we feel bad for him. It's not our place to judge, right? We shouldn't judge people. Is anyone seeing any of these in your movies or TV shows yet? Okay, next one. Be yourself. You need to find out who you really are and be that person, or be a better version of that person. That's SSC's motto, by the way. It really bothers me, I'm not going to lie. The solution is more tolerance or more acceptance. If we were just more tolerant of each other, it would be a better place. And that fixes whatever problem is going on in the movie. Christians are shown as judgmental or hypocritical. There was a Closer show we watched, and the evil dad, and he's so, he's preaching the Bible, right? And he doesn't love anyone at all. He is evil, and he is judgmental and hypocritical. Criminals or criminal behavior is excused or shown as situational. It's because of what happened in their past. We need to make our choices for ourselves. The parent or some other authority figure or the friend tries to tell them what they should do, but they have to realize they need to make the choice for themselves. What's right for you might not be right for me. Seeing things through another person's eyes will change your views on right and wrong, or on truth. If you could just see what it's like to grow up as a Muslim person, you would understand, and you might think a little differently. Experience is another culture or religion's beliefs or practices, and it's shown as a good thing. Can anyone say you've seen more than one of these in the movies or TV shows that you've recently watched? Okay. That means that you have been immersed in postmodernism, because every one of those themes is a theme of postmodernism. And I'm just going to tell you really briefly about a couple movies. These are just some of the ones I've recently watched. How to Train a Dragon, really, really cute movie. And the point of it, and I'm sorry if I'm spoiling the plot for anyone, is the dragons are hated by this culture, but really they're not then we would know that there's a reason that they kill people. I mean, really, they're not the enemy we are. Robin Hood. In the beginning of the movie, I thought it was a good movie. It was very intense, and we watched this clear place so we couldn't see any of the jungle. But in the beginning, he's with the Crusades, and he's like, I looked into this Muslim woman's eyes, and it totally changed my perception of what we're doing, and if they're really the enemy. Again, if you see it through another person's eyes, you'll have a different perspective about what's true. And then City of Ember, we watched this movie a while ago, but I just wanted to mention it because this movie is, it's all about this culture underground, and they believe in the founders, and they sing these songs to the founders and have these group meetings. And the final answer is the kids discover a way out into the real world, and they go into the light, and they realize that this whole world they believed in was created and constructed by men. That's about Christianity. And it's saying that it's empty, and if you get out of it, you'll come into the light. And I watched it, and people were like, no, I think this is supporting Christianity. It might be. I read another book that the author of that book it was based on wrote, and it outright made Christians the villains. So yes, the movies we watch are so full of secret things that are about postmodernism and against Christianity. Okay. Defining postmodernism. Basically, in a nutshell, about 1800s we had modernism, Darwin, the theory of evolution. We decided we could have science without God. Marxism, we decided we could have economics and government without God. So mankind developed philosophy, psychology, Freud came into being, and he said our real identity is about Freudian stuff. It's all about liking your mama or your daddy, and your true identity is all about your sexual being. So everyone decided that, okay, we don't need God to find out what's true and to find meaning for our lives. We don't need that. But what happened is we found out that actually these meanings don't work. Actually, the truth doesn't fall into place. So then we had postmodernism. Can you go on to the next one? So the way I define this history, my history of philosophy in 2 sentences, mankind went looking for meaning and truth, started with mankind, and couldn't find it. So, instead of giving up on mankind as a source and saying, maybe humanity doesn't have all the answers, we gave up on it. Okay, we can't find truth, so truth must not exist. Okay, starting with ourselves, we can't find a moral standard, so there must not be one. Instead of saying, maybe we don't have all the answers and we need to try God again, we gave up on all of it. Basically, postmodernism says, this is probably the biggest one. They say reality is constructed by language, and language is open to interpretation, which it is. Books can be interpreted in some ways. And if someone writes a book, it's not going to be all completely true. That's why 2 people can write 2 eyewitnesses accounts, and they won't agree with each other, because people are fallible. But what postmodernists got wrong is they said, okay, so this must be true about reality. Actually, there is no reality. The issue is that obviously we all disagree, so there's nothing to agree on. They're all equally right. It sounds really dumb when I explain it this way, but when postmodernists explain it, it makes a lot of sense because they hit on key truths, which are that humans are fallible. So obviously someone from outside has to come in and give us the truth and the answer. But if you take that outside away, then you are left with no truth. So I'm just going to skip the rest of these because it goes through this whole thing, and you can read the PowerPoint. Can we